Welcome to the Hillbilly RV channel. Today we are going to be talking about LP. What does LP stand for? Liquid propane. Okay. I did a video just the other day on a propane leak, and I wanted to just go into LP a little bit more. Propane. Now I am no propane expert. I'm not a scientist. I don't know all the technical stuff, but I know what LP gas does for RVs and how it is used. Okay, so we're going to stand here in front of the whiteboard for a little bit, and then we're going to go up and look at some propane cylinders, propane bottles. You know, they go by a dozen different names. I'm probably just going to call them bottles. Okay. So LP is just liquid propane. All right. Now, all right, let's start with RVs. RVs don't use the liquid part. Okay. They use the vapor off the liquid. Now, there are, if you turn an LP cylinder on that does not have an Acme safety valve, and you turn it upside down, you're going to get liquid out of that. You turn it upright, the liquid evaporates. It actually boils at minus 44 degrees Fahrenheit and what is it, minus 42 Celsius. The liquid propane actually boils, and then you get the vapor off that, and that's what RVs use. They use the vapor. I've got an LP furnace up there in the garage. It uses the vapor. Most things use the vapor. Now, what would use the liquid? Some of your combustion engines will use the liquid. It'll actually flow into like a carburetor in liquid form, and then as it enters the combustion chamber on the engine, that's when it boils off, makes the vapor, and runs the engine. Okay, I think if I'm wrong on this, you let me know, because like I say, I'm not a scientist and I'm not a propane expert. Now, one thing about propane too is that it is heavier than air. So if you have a leak, the propane is going to go down. Okay. So I haven't seen this personally. Well, yeah, I did too. Back in the day, I used to change when the propane bottles were changing from the regular valves to the Acme safety valves. I actually revalved a few tanks, like 30-pound tanks. And you know, if they had propane in them, I had no choice but to just let it go into the atmosphere, and you could watch it just be a mist on the ground, and it would find a low spot and hang out in that low spot until it dissipated into the atmosphere. Was that right? Probably not. Was it smart? No, definitely not. But it's what I did, and yeah, for whatever it was. But got the job done. Everything was good. Everybody lived. Now, LP is, well, any gas, natural gas or LP gas, is something that some people have a great fear for. I think, personally, I think it is something not to be feared, but to respect. It's like firearms. You know, a firearm laying on that table over is not just going to jump up and start killing people. So you don't have to be afraid of that, but you just need to respect it and handle it with care. Same thing as LP. There's a million different ways to die. You know, so LP's just one of them. One of a million different ways to die. I know we all know people that are just terrified of any kind of gas. We have two propane appliances in our house. We have a a ventless heater right over there, and we have Mrs. Hillbilly's cook stove over there. When the electric one went bad in the house, she said, "I want gas." You know, Miss Hillbilly gets what she asked for, so we already had the gas out there for the home standby generator and the furnace, so we bought Miss Hillbilly a propane or gas cook stove. She loves it. I love it. It's awesome to cook with. So let's talk about the pressure of propane. Let me draw another quick diagram. So here we have a propane bottle, cylinder, whatever. All right, you have your liquid propane is a liquid form down here, and this is where it has boiled off and created a gas. Okay, you have a valve here. You open the valve, the gas, and it is a gas, flows into your two-stage regulator. In America, we use a two-stage because now I didn't look this up, so somebody can put this down in the comments. What is the pressure on this tank? And I think, not 100% sure, does that change with the volume of liquid gas, liquid propane? Does this pressure up here fluctuate, or I mean, is it more with a bigger tank? Because you know, you got main things here in America are a 20-pound cylinder, a 30-pound cylinder, 40-pound cylinder, a 100-pound cylinder, and then we get into permanently set tanks. I've got 225-gallon tanks back here on the house. Up at the garage, we've got I think we have a 225-gallon tank. So yeah, is this pressure, the more volume of gas, is this pressure higher? But anyway, it goes into a two-stage regulator. Sometimes you can have two separate regulators. You can have your high pressure here, and then somewhere else you will have a low pressure. Okay, just like up there at the garage or on my tanks. The gas goes into a high pressure regulator, then it goes into a low pressure regulator before it comes to your house, into your house. Okay. RVs, the high pressure and low pressure all in the same unit. It's called a two-stage regulator. All right. I don't know what this pressure is. It's pretty high. I know if you mistakenly are checking gas pressure and you put your manometer on the high pressure side, go buy you a new manometer, because you just blowed that one up. Because out here, after the low pressure regulator, in America, we want to have 11, well, why did I do that? 11 to 14 water column inches, okay? That's what all of our appliances run on, is 11 to 14 water column inches. Now again, not 100% sure, but I was always told that, 14 water column inches is like a quarter of a PSI, okay? So these regulators are doing a lot of work. They're taking this high pressure, which, all right, just off the top of my head, I'm thinking this is 80 to 90 PSI. Y'all correct me, because I know I'm wrong. And it turns it into 11 to 14 water column inches. So it cuts the pressure way down. And I think natural gas, like you might have from a utility in your home, is 9 to 11 water column inches. Again, I could be wrong. I don't know. I haven't dealt with natural gas for a long time. Now, as far as where do you get propane from? Now, this is something that I don't know 100% for sure. I know that natural gas, like from a utility, has it's blended. Okay, it comes out of the earth from gas wells, and then it goes to a big facility somewhere, and it is blended. They put, you know, so much propane, so much of this, so much of that, to make it a consistent, you know, make it burn consistently, so that when you light your furnace in your house, it don't have a flame this big one time and a flame this big the next time. Burns consistently. Now, is LP gas, is it man-made, or is it a natural gas, and it has a higher propane content than natural gas? I don't know. Y'all tell me. I probably should have looked some of this up beforehand, but I didn't. So yeah, I think that's all that I've got here. I may think of something else. We're going to go up the road and we're going to look at some different size propane bottles, and we'll talk about some of the differences on them. So y'all hang tight. We're going to take a ride. See you on the flip side. So here are some examples of some different size propane bottles. First, we have a 20 pounder, then we got a 30 pounder and a 100 pounder. Okay, so what does that mean? All right, they actually, there's numbers stamped on the bottles. Let me see, I think we can see this one. The tare weight of the bottle is 17 pounds. All right, the full, when it's full of propane, it'll weigh 47.6 pounds. And all of the portable bottles, as far as I know, have those weights stamped on them. That way they will know when they fill those. If you go to a reputable place, when they fill them, they will weigh those, and they will fill them to a certain point, and then they'll stop, and they'll charge you by the gallon that they put in there. If you go to an unscrupulous place, you take that 20-pound bottle in there and it's still half full, and they fill it, they're going to charge you for 20. Did I say gallons? 20 pounds. They're going to charge you for 20 pounds of propane. What does propane weigh per gallon? I don't know right off the top of my head. I'll look it up and put it right over here. And now they don't completely fill these bottles to the top. They're only 80% full. When they're full, they're only 80% full. You have to have room for that the propane, the liquid propane, to boil off to make gas, so that we can use it in our appliances. So now let's go look at a permanent tank, which, you know, the portable tanks are all measured by the pounds of propane in the bottles. But now when you have a permanent setup tank, it's done by gallons. So here we have a permanent tank, and it is a, oh, here we go, I've got pressures right here. 250 gallons. It says maximum allowed working pressure is 250 pounds. So this tank have 250 pounds of gas pressure. So when your truck, you know, from the propane company comes to fill these, they've got a meter on there just like a gas pump, and they put so many gallons in there, they charge you by the gallon, and you're good to go. So yeah, I knew there was a lot of pressure in that tank, but I didn't know how much. 250 is a lot. Ain't no wonder it'll blow up a manometer. And here's a really good example of a separated two-stage LP regulator. Now this red regulator is a high pressure regulator, so it's going to take that 250 pounds and knock it down to something probably really reasonable, maybe, I don't know, say 15-20 pounds or something. And then over here on the building we have our low pressure regulator. We could take you over there. Then on the building here, we have our low pressure regulator. So the somewhat lower pressure, the 20 psi or whatever it is coming from the high pressure regulator, comes in here, and then this takes it down to the 11 to 14 water column inches. And the colors, I don't know, probably different companies have different colors, but I know everything I see here in Southern West Virginia, the high pressure regulators, if they're separate, are red, and the low pressure are either brown or green. There may be other colors, I'm not sure, but that's what I've seen. I think that is all of my knowledge on liquid propane. I know it's not much knowledge, but it's what I've got, and I thought I'd share it with you. So I did. As simple as that. So as always, really appreciate y'all watching. Get down in that comment section, let me know all the stupid stuff that I said, all the stuff that was wrong, and you tell me what's right, and we'll all learn something. So y'all have a fantastic day, and we'll catch you next time.